Hi, my name is Bob. I'm here on behalf of RadarBusters, and we have a special treat for all of our viewers. I'm here now with Everett from Waylens. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you, Bob.
And we're going to be demonstrating a hot new product that's going to be introduced, I think, in a couple weeks. That's the expected timeline. And he's with an innovative company called Waylens. And in fact, this product is going to be so new and unique, it's actually creating a new category.
The Secure360 is a single lens, 360 degree view camera that captures everything around the car and integrates with 4G technology so that the camera is connected to you whether you're with the car or whether you're away from the car. As an example, I live in Rochester, New York. I'm here in Dallas today for a show. And if I had the Secure360 4G in my car at the Rochester airport and somebody tried to break into the car, I would automatically get a text alert telling me there was an event happening at my car, and at the same time, that event would be automatically uploading to the cloud so that no matter what happened with the intending thief, I would have the video, I would capture his image, and I would have that for evidence when I went to the police. It's an innovative concept in that heretofore car security has involved a siren, an alarm, a disabling of a system, but you didn't necessarily know who was involved in perpetrating the crime. Now we give you the video of exactly who that perpetrator is.
Very interesting. And you talk about these existing systems like the Viper or built-in car systems where the horn honks. You know, I've certainly been, and I'm sure you have, everybody probably can identify with that, been in a parking lot, you know, like a Costco or something like that, yeah, and something goes off, and it's so common, you just disregard it. You know, you don't even think of it.
You ignore it. When an event occurs, such as somebody breaks your side window or somebody inadvertently backs into your car, it activates the 3-axis accelerometer or the gyro, which decides that this is an event, and it is specifically saved as a 30-second clip, and it's saved to the SD card on your camera as well as being saved to the cloud so that it will not be lost no matter what happens.
Right. And with this lens design, this is also unique, as I understand. What makes the Waylens unique beyond this other technology that Everett was speaking about is this is a single lens which gives you a panoramic or a 360 degree view, as opposed to other cams where you actually need a front and a rear lens, a little bit more bulky. And then this can be transcribed into either on the phone for editing, for evidence, into two what I call rectilinear as opposed to fisheye type looks, what you're expecting to normally see with a 360. As in the front and back, so you can get a clear, it's almost as if you did have two separate lenses.
It's showing you 180 to the front and it's showing you 180 to the back. It also gives you the option of switching to a full screen view, and if you switch to the full screen view, you then have to pick which view you want to look at. And the way you choose the view you want to look at on your smartphone, you use your finger and you swipe across the phone and it pans around, so you can choose exactly which image you want to look at, which image you want to study, so that if somebody had been trying to get into your vehicle through the side window, you're going to spin it around until you get to the side window, and then you can look at exactly what the individual's doing, and you can get a close-up of that individual's face. You can expand the screen so you see his features, so you have a much easier time identifying who it is. Or conversely, if you were looking at a situation where somebody in a parking lot had backed into the front of your car, you pan the screen around or the lens around so it's looking out the front, and then you can also expand the screen so that you're looking right at the license plate. You're getting the state, you're getting the license plate number, you're almost certainly going to be able to get the type of vehicle too. So then you have clear evidence to present to your insurance company or to law enforcement officials.
Terrific. And it just so happens that I would have loved to have had this technology today, because we're at the conference and we had valet parking, and with this beautiful 2018 Vet, they brought it up, and I see that the bottom skirt of the car was damaged. So I think either obviously something happened when it was parked in the garage, or they went over a bump or something, and they actually tore up the bottom of the car. So if I had this and it was running, it's very likely I would have obviously gotten that notification. I would have known exactly that it happened.
You would have known what happened, and one of the other nice things is you would have also had an audio recording of that, so you would have been able to hear when the skirt was getting torn off its mooring.
And the valet individual who was driving the car.
Yeah, you'd have seen him doing it.
That's great. Now, there's also something I think in this product which you have a radar-based motion sensing type device that runs. Did I understand it? Not in just so people are concerned with radar detectors, it would never interfere like a collision avoidance system. But you have come up with a motion sensing, not just an impact, but is that right?
The importance here, and it's when you go into park mode. And that is, you've parked in a parking lot such as this, or you're at the mall, or you're at an airport, or you're in a parking garage, and you're going to leave the car for a while. The unit is working off of your car battery. And one of the keys to our advanced power management system is that while you're in park mode, you're not draining the battery at a high rate. As a matter of fact, the battery is designed with the advanced power management system to last for 360 hours or 15 days. So
incredible.
How does the camera continue to protect you? The camera in park mode still has the radar sensor, which is in the mount, activated. And the purpose of the radar sensor is that it detects motion around the perimeter of the car, so that if somebody gets within close proximity, say 8 feet, the radar sensor says, camera, wake up. We could possibly have an event coming in the near future, and we want to be on to record that event starting before it happens all the way through the event, not after the event has happened. So that radar sensor is a very important part of the security aspect and the longevity of the battery life for the camera to provide security long term.
Can we talk a little bit about the 4G connectivity? I think I recall you saying that the service at the moment is provided by Verizon. You've made a nice arrangement with them, is that correct?
No, we are with AT&T.
Oh, pardon me.
But the service itself will be a 3-month service period for $29.95, which averages out to just a hair under $10 a month. As we start up with this new product, we had to pick a specific service period so that we can get the product and all the mechanics and the orchestrations of the service down right. So the initial plan for 2018 will start at a 3-month plan. When you get to the end of your 3-month subscription, you will be sent an email notification requesting you to renew your service so that you will continue to have full protection and coverage. If at some point in time you start to use more data than is within the standard plan, you'll get a notification, and the notification will also ask if you would like to acquire some more data for the period to make sure that you're covered.
Sure, and I obviously, if there's events that happen that aren't really significant, which can happen, you can discard that, so you can maintain your data potentially, as opposed to just collecting data. Right, you could call that video, I assume.
So what will happen is, when the radar sensor wakes the camera up to begin recording because of proximity and an event might be about to happen, the camera's awake and recording, but it's using no data. There is no data used until an event occurs. Someone bangs your window, somebody runs into your bumper. That creates an event. That is some data you want used because you want to know about it. You want that going to the cloud. You want that being sent to you as a text notification so that you can investigate and find out what's going on. Once the data is used, the data is used.
Understood. Now, am I correct in understanding that this camera also has the Wi-Fi capability, which was the camera that was the precursor, or the other camera that preceded this, and you have an incredible 256 gig capacity, is that correct?
The SD memory card that needs to go into the camera, it needs to be a class 10 or better SD card to protect the integrity of the video. And then we generally recommend that you start with a 32 gig micro SD card, but the camera itself has the capacity to take up to a 256 gig SD card. So you would get more than a full day's worth of recording if it was on the whole time.
Right. And I'm thinking if you park in a garage, some garages underground can go 4, 5, or 6 levels deep, and that cell service may not always be consistently available, correct? So I understand you have some capability to go offline. So can you touch on that a little bit, Everett?
Yes, and if you did not have the cell service, you would still be functioning in Wi-Fi mode, and what would happen is the radar sensor, the camera itself would still be in park mode, and the radar sensor would be acting just as it normally does, and if someone came in proximity of the vehicle, it would wake the camera up. You would record the event, and it would be on the camera, and then as you get to the point where you have 4G again, if an event actually occurred, as soon as you get to the 4G, you will get a notification, and the cloud will get the
awesome.
data sent right to it.
Awesome. Terrific. What's the retail this is going to be?
The retail price on the Secure360 4G will be $399.95, and it will be available to the general public in the first 2 or 3 weeks of September. And we are encouraging all our accounts, such as RadarBusters, to get their orders in now, so that as the cameras become available, as the Secure360 4G becomes available, you're first in line to get the product, and you can be the first to use the product to protect yourself with video protection of anything that's going on around your vehicle.
That's awesome. And we're going to actually take this out for a spin, so we're going to get a first-hand look on how this product actually works when you're actually driving with it. So
okay, so what we need to do is we need to get it up on the glass. And so one of the things Waylens does is they provide with the unit, when you purchase it, what's called a mounting template, so that it is easy to get the unit up on the glass and get it centered so you have the proper video coverage. Very simple to do. You slide the mounting template up, you get it centered to where you think you're going to want the camera to be, getting the right position. You see that it's looking good. You take the template off. You remove the adhesive backing. Sometimes it helps to have fingernails. There we go.
There you go. It's well packaged.
Okay, so using the template, we get it properly situated. We want to make sure that we get the mount plate securely on the glass so there are no air bubbles. And then we put it back on and we fit it in. Maybe. And then we slide it back across. We get the camera properly adjusted, and we're ready to go.
Very, very good. And will there be potentially like a second car kit if you wanted to move this from car to car?
Yes, there will. You'll be able to get a second mount plate, and you'll be able to get a second direct wire cord, so that you can set 2, 3, as many cars up as you need to.
Lovely. Fabulous. Okay, well, let's have some fun. Let's take this out, and I'd like to switch seats here if you don't mind. He's a Ford man. I'm driving a Chevy here, but we'll have some fun. Hey, let's take this thing for a spin and see what you can do, huh?
Sounds good.
Both things. And this is firmware updatable, so as improvements are made?
As improvements are made, what will happen is you will get a notification on your phone through the app that there's a firmware firmware update available, you will log on to your camera, and the Wi-Fi connection between your camera and the phone will allow the transfer to be made so that your camera now has the latest firmware updates.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to, test driving this. I wish it had a, maybe one day, if it doesn't, a parking meter mode, or hey, my car's being towed. That would set off an event, right? And if
It certainly would.
at a restaurant, got to run out. I don't know if they can be pretty tough, some of these meter maids, but
Well, if you were being towed, it would definitely create an event. Meter maid giving you a ticket, the camera would be recording, and as she lifted your wiper to put the ticket under it, you would probably get an event of that happening.
Yeah, and actually, I'll tell you a story. This just happened about 2 months ago. I was in, I think it was Tennessee. Yeah, I parked between the lines. I'm right to the meter, and I'm getting a ticket. Now, fortunately, I called the parking authority, and they did this over the phone. And I said, hey, I was parked. I was in time. The money was there. Why would I get a ticket? Now, it just so happens that he waived the fine, and he said there may have been a mistake or something to that effect. But I wonder if we had video evidence of that kind of thing, whether that would have helped. If, some of these parking authorities, you ever been to those kangaroo courts? Not really a high threshold of legal. And, I've occasionally gotten off just by making a pretty fair case.
What it is a money machine.
Yeah, without a question. So, just another example of potential use case for this.
These scooters are very prevalent down here.
I haven't seen a lot of vets, surprisingly, coming across I-10 and stuff like that, I-30. A lot of pickup trucks in Texas, but not as many sports cars. I don't think I've seen that many Mustangs either, for that matter.
It doesn't really surprise me. I mean, in and around the urban areas where people want cool cars, yeah.
Look at this Corvette behind me. Speaking of the devil, can I turn here? I hope I can.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. When you went under the expressway, we were on Commerce Street, and then turned around and did the UE and came back. Right before you did the UE, we came right up on a vet there too, a white.
So anyway, I want to thank you. I think we've touched on all the major elements.
Very good.
I'm really excited about the company.